If you're in entrepreneurship and you're making a lot of cold calls, most likely you're running across a lot of people who are kind of like annoying and don't really believe that you can help them because they've been burned in the past, or they just don't believe that there's hope for them. And in this video, I want to talk about how you should not let these people drag you down. You should protect your energy, and why also you shouldn't apologize for trying to help them and actually having your offer to them. So many people, like when I first did cold calls, like I started doing that and I had like a lot of confidence and I just kind of like observed prospects and probably made some mistakes there. But at the end of the day, after like a year of doing this, I started listening to prospects more, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but they kind of like started to like really talk bad to me because they just feel like leads are shit and marketing is shit. You're never gonna help us, and just like being really disrespectful. And I started letting that get to me. And so that's, you can make a mistake in both directions, right? You can be overconfident and like ignoring dangers, that's a mistake. But on the other hand, like if you listen to them too much to the point where they're just dragging you down, then you know you've gone too far with it. And so I want to say, like, whether you're in that currently or whether you're just starting, if you have good intentions, if with your offer, and if you know that you're going to do your best to make things work, then you shouldn't apologize for trying to do that, for reaching out to them. Like, you shouldn't apologize for that. And you shouldn't let them drag you down. The reality is there's a lot of people that are going to have bad experiences with offers like that in the past, or maybe they just don't see a way for that. And if you're in sales, the challenge is that you need to challenge them. So people are going to be a little bit annoying to test you. And to a certain extent, that's normal and that's okay. And you should kind of like be okay with that. But if you notice that they are being disrespectful, then you need to find a way for yourself to protect your own energy. Either just hang up the call, like I do that sometimes. It's probably not the best solution, but when someone is just straight up being disrespectful, I don't want to waste my energy on that. And so when they make a mistake, I'm going to, point that out to them, not necessarily in like in your face kind of way, but I'm not gonna let them walk over me either, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's why you should protect your energy. And like if you know that you have, you're there to actually get results and you have good ethics, then you shouldn't apologize for reaching out to them, because they're going to test you. And like I said, to an extent, that's normal because they need to feel out. It's a protective mechanism for them, and they need to feel out if it's actually going to work. And sometimes that's their way of doing that. But as long as you can talk about that in like a respectful way for the both of you, then I think like you're making progress, and those are the people you can actually help, right? But people who are just being disrespectful, just cut them off. Like you don't need to, you don't owe them help, right? If they want to be full of hate, then at the end of the day, is it really worth investing your energy into them? Probably not. And so that's a mistake that I make. But I'm coming back from it. And like again, there is also the other danger that you're too confident. You need to be aware of the dangers. But I think as long as you are honest, as long as you do your best, then you shouldn't apologize for reaching out to them. You're actually giving them some type of like a coaching session just by reaching out to them. So, don't take that too far, because you need to know, you still need to, you need to be genuine as well. It's also your duty to be honorable and be respectful. But again, it needs to come from both sides. So if you're going to cold call a lot, especially with an offer like marketing or sales or anything that is pretty popular, people are going to be burned a lot by that because they've had a lot of people reach out to them. And so to an extent, it's normal and you should expect resistance, but it doesn't mean that you should accept disrespect, right? And also just protect your own energy, because you're going to need your energy to close your clients, because that's the work you're going to need to do, right? You're going to need to challenge them on their mindset. So that's always going to be the job of sales. But it's up to you. Who do you give that to? Who do you actually give your energy to? Do you give your energy to someone who actually wants to be challenged and wants to make things work? Or do you give your energy to people who are just gonna try to tear you down? And you could say those people might also deserve help, but again, you don't need to destroy yourself, or maybe that's a big word, but you don't need to drag yourself down with them, right? So that's what I'm saying. But yeah, especially like when you're starting, you'll probably be doing like 100, 200, or 300 cold calls a day. So it's quite normal. Expect some resistance. But at the same time, like I said, be aware of where you put your energy. Also, like with YouTube and everything in general, it's so important, right? Because I think the reason why people aren't successful entrepreneurs, most of the time it's not because they're not trying, because I feel like a lot of people are trying, not everyone, but a lot of people are. But it's a case of like they're mismanaging their energy. And I'm probably quite guilty of that myself. But look at yourself honestly and, can you say that you have been working hard, that you have been like really rowing hard and trying hard and grinding hard, and you're still not getting the results? Then probably it's not the fact that you're not trying, but it's the fact that your strategy isn't good, or that you're mismanaging your energy. And that's why you're going to need to protect your energy, and people are going to guilt you into that, right? Because people who are hateful or just negative, if they can't drag you down with them, or they can't suck all the energy out of you, they're going to shame and guilt you for that. So it's a challenge to protect your energy. And sometimes you will feel guilty, but it's a matter of being conscious of because you can't just say they are wrong, I don't care. It's always a matter of being conscious of this situation and this person or this call. Is this something worth investing energy into? Is the person replicating, or is he just being disrespectful? And some people are going to try to get the worst out of you, and just don't let them get to that. That's what I would say. And don't apologize for your offer, because again, so many people, and I am very guilty of this myself, when I did cold calls, I already know that they're not going to like the offer because it's a cold call, and then I start already apologizing in my call. But I need to stop doing that, and you need to stop doing that, because you're trying to do something. You're trying to actually help them, trying to help yourself, yes, but you're also trying to help them. So you're not doing yourself justice in the first place by apologizing because there is no reason to apologize. In the second place, you're also not doing them a justice because they could actually be helped if they could see more, or you could be a little bit more confident. So yeah. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or ideas, let me know. Always happy to hear from you guys. Feel free to check out my next video as well. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.